Where is the risk of Legionella and Legionnaires disease is what we're talking about today on the East Central Business Show. I'm John Naylor, and I'm joined by Andrew and John from Compliance Water Services Fellows. Now, thanks for coming on the show. This is a great little series, and we're really drilling down on Legionnaires and Legionella bacteria. Yeah. Now, we've all got, I'm sure the majority of people out there are thinking cooling towers, AC, that's where Legion is. But we've got a list over there, so let's go through it now. How come cooling towers are top of the list?
Because historically they've always been the main cases.
Yes.
So when there's a major Legionella outbreak in a lot of Australian cities, it's been attributed to a cooling tower. The problem is, cooling towers aren't the only source of Legionella. There's water systems. They can be fair game as well. So if you've got an aged care facility, a hospital, anything like that, it can be an equal risk. It's just not perceived in that way.
Yeah, okay. So but in around cooling towers, and we'll rattle through all these and go into a bit of detail about each. But within cooling towers, you even spoke to me about the fact that even like this photo behind us of like building top cooling towers, you might get drift where an outbreak could go from one tower and drift across and infect another one. Yeah. How does that happen?
It basically can cross-contaminate. If those towers are not managed properly, it can spread from system to system, and that can be a real issue in city areas because obviously you've got a high population and you've got drift producing Legionella. So it's just an issue when you've got a high number of people and they're exposed to the aerosol that may contain Legionella.
Yeah, okay. And the thing is, like, there's a certain temperature band where this is more prevalent than not type thing. And say here in sunny Brisbane, we're well in the band,
Yeah, I mean, we all know that ambient temperature in Brisbane, it often exceeds 20 degrees.
And that's why we live here,
But it can be an issue for the water.
And all the Legionella have moved here as well.
Yeah, they live it here.
They're everywhere, you say,
yeah?
Okay, so went around sort of thing. So, and then you've also pointed out, like you said, about across the top of Brisbane's, city buildings, there's water towers or water storage.
Yeah.
That's a risk. How does that come to be?
Well, basically, for a tall building, you need a storage of water on the top, and that can be a source of Legionella if it's not properly maintained.
So what do you mean by that? What's happening up there?
If they need to be inspected and treated, as a high risk item, if they're not, then they can just be allowed to grow Legionella, and that can be an issue for all of us, really.
Yeah, okay. And then like around the household type thing, you even put jacuzzis on the list. I mean, because you've got to breathe it in though.
Yeah.
I mean, how does a Legionella that's participating in your jacuzzi has moved in? How does that get?
Yeah, well, jacuzzis obviously set at the temperature that's ideal for Legionella growth.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, and if they're not treated, so they're not treated with biocides, they can grow Legionella and they bubble and they produce aerosol and we can breathe that in. So it can be a risk.
Okay. And then on the list is dead legs. I got a dead leg in school from the bad boy in the class, but that's not what you're talking about.
No. Dead legs are basically parts of pipework where there's it's been capped off and it's no longer used, and it actually can grow Legionella, and that can contaminate your water system.
Oh, so what you're just saying? There's this bacteria can just come to live in this sort of end of a pipe.
Yeah.
And then come back up into the system and
recontaminate your system.
Okay, that's a highly technical one, yeah. And even we've got on the list there is about water, showers and warm water systems. I mean, what are you specifically talking about there? Once again, we're not drinking the shower water.
No, but if you're in an aged care facility or a hospital, they like to make sure no one can get scalded. So they put warm water systems in to protect people from scalding, but then they allow Legionella to grow at them temperatures.
All right. Because what sort of temperature are we talking about? Because a hot shower is
50 degrees. It can go up to 50 degrees a shower, but we often shower it around 42 degrees.
Yeah.
That temperature can grow Legionella.
Okay, and then you're saying that warm water systems are actually a notch even below that as well?
Yeah, they're set to 42 degrees. And obviously that presents a risk for individuals using the showers or the taps or anywhere that you might be exposed to aerosol.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, I feel like bad, Andrew. I'm not asking you any questions. You're happy that I'm focusing on...
That's all right. I guess I'd just like to add that, you have all these risks, and if you're not managing that risk, and you're not taking the right steps to manage that risk, that's where your Legionella does get out of control, and that's where it goes to a high risk, and that's where people can catch Legionella, get Legionnaire's disease, and end up dying.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because even around these things, so we've done misting water, stored water, drifting, poor water quality. What's going on there, gents?
Yeah, so state to state or county to county, all the different areas, the water quality can actually be different from one area to the other. And if the water is different and it's not chlorinated or there's any difference in the water quality, it can contribute to Legionella growth. But if you're not aware of it, you don't know that the Legionella has got the capacity to grow.
Well, because one thing I learned today also is that chlorine gases off out of your water.
Yeah.
Like water sitting there long enough,
the
chlorine just
dissipates.
Will dissipate and disappear from the... So you end up more with more water and a higher risk of Legionellas if there's some way for that to be introduced to the system type thing.
Yeah, that's why flushing is essential. If you flush the pipes.
Oh, that's it. And I think you mentioned about that in terms of one process you went through with some organisation, is that the first thing you said for them once they did get a red flag or there's some reporting came back very negatively, is flush the system.
Flush it, yeah.
And so is that all people need to do? Surely there's more to it.
It's not the only thing that people can do, but it definitely reduces the risk when you've got flushing going on because you get chlorine coming through and that keeps the water in a good quality.
Well, that's obviously when you guys take the phone calls and start giving quality advice, yeah?
Yeah, so when they get a positive for Legionella, generally the approach that we do is we take a stepped approach and to manage the Legionella risk. And the first step for most facilities, and I'm not saying every facility, but is to flush that pipe or to flush that outlet. So to turn the tap on both hot and cold or whatever water system that's in, and flush it for 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And minimise any spray when that water comes out and flush the Legionella out.
Yeah, well, how about in cooling towers? I mean, you're not up there in cooling towers spraying the system type thing, are you? I mean, what goes on in that sort of situation, mind me asking?
The cooling tower treatment?
If there's a treatment needed for a cooling tower where it's come in above tolerances and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So the water treatment specialists, they should actually be controlling all their biocides and their inhibitors and monitoring the system for sampling. So
there is a chemical approach to dealing with problems in a cooling tower system.
Yeah, so on a cooling tower, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, is that if they get a positive Legionella, they'll actually shock dose the system with whatever biocide or disinfectant they're using on the system.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. Sounds a bit different. Is there something you're going to smell then in the system? Are you going to is he going to be down there going, wow.
Smells like chlorine.
No, I don't know for sure. I'm just asking the question, but there's obviously ways and means. So a Legionella needs to have, if there's some sort of problem, it needs to be dealt with in a managed way. Now, the other one that we're going to touch on before we run out of time in this segment is vacancy. What do you mean by vacancy? What's going on there?
Yeah, so we find with a lot of facilities that they have areas that they leave vacant for a long time. So that might be like a retirement village where you've got an independent living unit. Yeah. And you just...
What, a whole floor of a building that's empty?
Just a unit.
A vacant tenancy?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it just stays vacant for months, even a year. And that's as bad as a dead leg because that just doesn't move. The water stays stagnant.
Okay. So is it the water or the air that's in that case?
It's the water and then there's no flushing going on. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So so that effectively becomes a dead leg because there's taps and showers and faucets and stuff like that in that tenancy, whatever it is, where the water's not changing.
It's not moving, yeah.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. Now, anyway, obviously, a real serious education and a wealth of information we're getting today out of this process. There are other videos, but right now, if you need to know more about Legionella and the services of these fine gentlemen, then obviously, Andrew, you're the guy to call, yeah?
Yes, you can call me on 0429 431 709 or go to our website at compliancewaterservices.com.au and send us a message on it from our website.
Okay, gentlemen, fabulous information, and there are other videos in this series, so if you do want to inform yourself about that, go and look for more videos from these guys on YouTube, LinkedIn, their website, or wherever else you're grazing to watch these shows, and we'll see you next time on the East Central Business Show.